All right, so kind of a surprise here. Adonai Mitchell falling all the way to 52. The Colts pick him up. Listen, I thought I was a bit low on him with him being 39 on my big board. He goes, the NFL is apparently lower on him. There's some issues that we can talk about on film. Like, there are some, I think the biggest thing is he doesn't win as consistently as you'd like. I do wonder if some Colts fans watch the film and say like, or watch the highlights I should say, and say like, oh my god, this guy's amazing, he's 6'4" and runs a 4.3 and can put on those highlights. Why wasn't he drafted first overall? This guy is amazing. There is a consistency thing for sure, but at the same time, man, there's some really good stuff in his game. And while, yes, you would like to see it a bit more consistently, there's things you can work on. He's 21. He's such a young player, and you can't teach the physical tools and the physical traits that he has. So for the Colts, who really could use another receiver, and I think the Colts are having a pretty nice draft, getting Le'Veon Latu early on, and now going out and getting the receiver that, again, the Colts kind of historically don't love going out and signing a lot of free agents, especially at the receiver position, but they do like drafting guys, especially in round two. And if Mitchell can hit, him, Pittman, Josh Downs, and then Alec Pierce can kind of be more of a role player in that scheme instead of having to be like a number two, like that could really fill out this receiving core. Even more help for Joe Flacco. No, okay, I'm kidding. More help for Anthony Richardson, which, again, we always talk about with young quarterbacks. It's so important to put them in positions to succeed. This is a way you can put them in positions to succeed. Put him in position to succeed, Richardson. So, should be, an interesting move. But let's talk about the player himself. Let's just get into the film. Let's start off with this play. I don't think you can really talk about Mitchell too much without talking about just his speed and his explosiveness. I mean, this is what he brings to the table. This is his, definitely, I would say his best attribute. You see that when this play begins, when he wanted to, which wasn't always, but when he wanted to, you would see him just absolutely blow by guys. I mean, he ran a 4.3, and it doesn't always show up on film, but there were times when it really did, and this is one of those examples. He just gets way past the guy who's trying to cover him, and having that speed can really do a lot. Yes, there are NFL corners who run 4.3, but there aren't a lot of them, right? There aren't a ton of them. So if you can run by a guy, there is going to be that benefit. Now, this is not going to be a perfect throw. You might be wondering, you might be kind of thinking, who cares? He's 6'4". He can make the play, right? Well, here he isn't going to come back and make the play. The contested catch stuff wasn't. I wouldn't say it was terrible or anything like that. It just wasn't elite either. It was inconsistent, and I think that maybe for a guy who's 6'4", you're thinking like, oh, this could be awesome, and at times it was. You see on this one, what's going to happen is it's going to be, again, kind of that pure wide receiver one type play of the single safety deep winning on the outside. This is what you want to see a receiver be able to do. You see that, quarterback takes a snap, looks in that direction, fires in that direction. This time there isn't a ton of separation. As I mentioned, like that 4.3 speed, he's not really using it on this play. And he said that he was kind of intentionally doing that. That part of his strategy was he didn't always run to 4.3, which is interesting, but that's, he wouldn't always go all out in terms of speed. Sometimes he would do stuff like this, or watch him make really a great contested catch. I mean, you look at that play, you don't say, oh, that's, people were, I'm a big fan of the corner, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and people were kind of saying, oh, what about this game? That's not bad defense. Like, I don't look at that and say, wow, McKinstry got beat pretty badly there. I look at that and say, wow, McKinstry had great defense, and Mitchell was able to do even more to still make the catch. As the old expression goes, perfect throw and great catch can always beat good defense. And in my opinion, that's what happened there. Now, there were also plays like this, where this isn't on McKinstry, but this is again, pure one-on-one matchup on the outside right here. Watch how when this play begins, you're going to see him, at this point, again, I would say that while a lot of people would bring up, the footwork, the route running, is that, great? I don't know. I mean, it's certainly not elite. Granted, he's 6'4", so I think we almost view him as a little guy because of how fast he is, but his movement isn't going to quite be as quick as a 5'10" guy, right? But I still feel like he does enough little things that I still am usually impressed with what he can do. Like, watch him then shift so well. He blows by that defensive back and is able to get a touchdown on that play. Again, use the 3 speed on that one. And again, it's just really impressive when he's able to pull these kind of things off. And also something like this, it helps you in several different ways, right? Like this one, it's going to be zone coverage, and you see where he is on the field, but having speed doesn't just allow you to win down the field. It kind of, you always have that threat, and so it's kind of one of those things where even if Mitchell doesn't work out, he's still going to have a role in an offense, just being a fast guy, but usually it sets up more than that, like what's going to happen on this play. Look at how when this play begins, you see that right here, he's, again, I would say doing a pretty good job at not giving away what he's running just yet. And so, usually that makes it a little bit tougher to cut. But the nice thing is you see how far off the Wyoming defensive back is playing. But also watch him cut really well. Just, good time throw, and they're able to pick up a good gain there. And for me, I think you could say, well, I would have liked more of a complete route tree. I thought when he had to do other stuff, he was usually pretty good at it. Like, I don't think that he was bad at having a complete route tree or anything like that. It was more so just, hey, when you can win on the outside pretty consistently, that's what they have you do. So, as a whole, again, I think it's possible if you're looking at this film, you're like, oh my God, the guy's a superstar. He's going to be, the best receiver in football. I would say the other critique I have is these are very much highlights. These are very much kind of his best plays. He wasn't always doing this, and there are receivers who win more consistently. And this is something that, for me personally, I've notoriously been pretty bad at evaluating wide receivers, and I think I sometimes in the past would fall in love with an Adonai Mitchell type player because of how great the wins look like. So part of why I'm a little bit cooler on him now, I would say, is because I'm like, well, there is, it's not quite as consistent as some of the other guys. That being said, even with that, and even with me trying to fight my past failures at the wide receiver position and being a little bit cooler on him for those reasons, I still can't help but think that he's going to be a really good wide receiver and has sky high potential at the next level. There is a bit of a projection there for me. So that's what I think about him. But as a whole, I'm a fan of him as a player. I think he's going to work at the next level. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. I appreciate that. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button or just click on the channel itself. I will be covering every little detail about this draft, so, if there's anything you're interested in, I'm sure I have a video about it. Make sure you check that out. Also, if you like movies, make sure you check out my movie channel. The link is in the description for that. Have a lot of fun stuff on there, some movie reviews, some tier lists, stuff like that. And also, if you want to just hear more of my general thoughts, follow me on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it. Link is in the description for that as well. And once again, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it.